to all the rioters in the George Floyd protests, all the protests around the United States and frankly all over the world. I want to say keep it peaceful. Otherwise, with all this looting and all this stuff, you know, it's like if you keep it peaceful, then people will just remember why you're protesting. If you don't, then it's going to be like the Rodney King riots, where I think people, when they hear Rodney King riots, they just associate the name Rodney King with a riot, and not why his name ended up with all that, not what happened to him. And if you keep, rioting and all this throughout the world because of what happened to George Floyd, people are going to think, when they think of George Floyd, they're just going to think of the riots and not why the protests and stuff were happening. I support the First Amendment. I think those cops should be in prison. I support everybody's right to protest, but if you keep it, if you are not, if you are violent when it comes to this, people are not going to remember why the protests are happening. And it really does seem kind of asinine to me that, using violence to protest police, but protest police violence. But, I can understand being angry at the police. I've had, even though I'm white and I could never know the experience of what happens to black people and why they're worried about police officers. I had some excessive force done to me. I had a seizure at a county fair that I was working at. I was on the restroom crew working the rodeo arena, the county fair, and I had a grand mal seizure. And when I'm still in the post-hospital state, it's like I become, combative, very, very combative. And, I come to, and, obviously I knew my shift was done. Tried to do what I always do, cut through the rodeo arena. And I had come to, and I was walking up, and the 3 sheriff's deputies come up from behind me, force me to the ground, and then handcuff me. And, I complained of excessive force, but I knew it wasn't going to lead anywhere because, again, in the eyes of one cop, another cop can't do anything wrong. But they were like, well, he didn't have it. They said after the investigation, it's like he didn't have a ticket or all this stuff, and it was like all the while it was like the rodeo arena was practically empty, but they made it seem like I was some kind of maniac on it. Very, very, it was just, but, I complained, but I didn't cooperate with the investigation because I knew nothing was going to come of it. And it's right, on MSNBC, they're commenting that, it's complaints of excessive force against police officers never really lead anywhere because, cops are investigating cops, and in the eyes of one cop, another cop can't do anything wrong. I mean, it's just, people are saying there should be outside, impartial investigations of complaints against police officers, and I truly believe that. But it's just one of those things. But again, everybody who sees this, hears this, you know, the best. If you keep it peaceful, then people will remember George Floyd and what happened. If you continue to riot, people are just going to the George Floyd riots, not or the George Floyd uprising or what. They're not going to remember George Floyd and how he died. They're just going to associate him with the riots. So keep it peaceful. You know, just give, pardon anything, give peace a chance. Try to solve all this some way that isn't violent. And that's all.